Greetings, greetings, greetings. Why go on? What the deal is? This is your brother Chief, man. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Facebook. What's up? YouTube. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Let me make sure we have audio on Facebook. This is your brother Chief. All right, so we got audio on Facebook. Woo! Hope everybody's having an amazing sunrest, man. It's raining out here in New York, but still it's a beautiful 24, right? So I'm gonna share some information with you guys. We're gonna dive a little deep. Well, not that deep. I'm just gonna share some information and conclude this video, right? But the video I did earlier, I don't think Facebook was ready for that heat. So the funny thing is, I have Facebook on my phone and automatically I'm logged in, right? Anyway, while I'm doing that video, all of a sudden they log me out. You know what I'm saying? And then the video can't play on Facebook. It was just crazy. But it is what it is. When you're dropping information like that, you know what I'm saying, those things always happen. So I'm not even worried about it. I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing. First off, definitely would like to acknowledge all the ancestors, glorifying and honoring the righteous ones and uplifting the unrighteous ones. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they get a chance to redeem themselves. So with that being said, wherever you're looking at this video, go ahead and put it in the link or the comment, and I'll definitely give you a shout out. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much that. So what I'm gonna do is, right now, of course, we are in the Aquarian age, and it's the age of enlightenment. The age of awakening, the age of justice. You know what I'm saying? Where everything that's done in the dark must come to light. Like literally, everything done in the dark will come to light. And I'll do a video, a video, and break all of that down. You know what I'm saying? So people will learn to take responsibility for their actions and think, and don't think, well, they could just do things and get away with it. No, 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 no. The law might not see you. The people that you're doing the wrong to may not know, but trust me, that karma knows. All right. So it's time for self-reflection. Okay. And that is the number one goal, to transition into the next realm, to experience that heaven on earth. But I'm going to do another video and I'm going to break all that down. But in the meantime, this video is to show you that, is going to show you the foundation of religion in the Americas, right? When it comes to churches and this new age religion that people have. You feel me? Because to truly find what we call God, the concept of what we call God, you have to give up all religions. That is just a fact. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. For you to truly find God, the concept of what we call God, you have to let go of all religions. Because religions were created to cripple people. All right. And first off, before I even continue, let me say this. This is strictly for knowledge purposes. Knowledge purposes. Don't believe anything that I say. That's my disclaimer. Don't believe anything that I say, because if I ask you to believe me, I'm lying to you. So don't believe anything that I say. Period. All right. What's up, Ebony? What's going on? So for those of us that are actually original Americans, I'm going to show you in just a few of the major countries, okay, within the Americas, when was the first church built? All right. And then just by looking at that, you will kind of see the impressions that religion had on slavery, because when it came into the Americas, it was all for the purpose of enslaving the people. It wasn't to save people. No, you don't save people with a sword. That's not how you save people. You don't save people with lies. That's not how you save people. You save people with love and truth. And religion came into our land, into our motherland, to accomplish quite the opposite. You feel me? So when we truly look at the foundation of religion in the Americas, and we look at the dates, then we'll see how it correlates. We'll see how it's coherent to slavery and the indoctrination of the mind of the people. And once we do that, I have a few questions to ask. Of course, those questions are rhetorical questions, but we are still going to ask them anyway. Okay? So please do me a favor. Like I said, drop a note in the comment. Let me know where you at, and I'll give you a shout out. All right, so let's get into this. The first thing we're going to do is, based on history and what we were taught, the colonizers came into what is currently called the West Indies, even if the entire America was considered the West Indies. But we're going to look within the Brazil, Hispaniola, which is now Dominican Republic and Haiti. And we're going to look at the first time a church was built. And we're going to go through a few other countries, including the incorporated United States. We're going to look at that. All right. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And the first one we're going to look at is Brazil, because we know that Brazil has one of the, if not the largest population of so-called Black people, and they always want us to think that these people came from Africa, but we know that's a lie, right? So after we go through all of this, right, you will see the foundation of all these religions. It all started with Catholicism. It all started as Catholics, right? All of it. So we're looking at Brazil right now. The first church denomination in Brazil was Roman Catholicism, right? Which was introduced by the Portuguese colonizers when they first arrived in the 1500s. Okay. Now, how can you come into a land with religion, but at the same time kill the people and steal their land? That was the intended purpose. So how could the foundation of religion be a good thing? Now, some people may say, well, Chief, what people do with religion is not bad. It's what people do with the religion. That could be an argument, right? But I'm going to rebuttal by saying that even in the book itself, okay, if you don't know the true interpretation of what it means, it condones slavery. You see what I'm saying? So we cannot excuse the book, okay, or the teaching of the interpretation of the book and say we cannot blame religion. You feel me? We cannot make an excuse for that. So it was a plan that was well devised. The ministers, the pastors, they all came with a purpose. And that purpose was to enslave, to rape, kill, steal, and destroy. Because that was the work of the devil. That's what the devil came to do. And when I say the devil, I'm not talking about the pale man. And no, I want to make that very clear. When I talk about Satan, I'm talking about the adversary to righteousness. That's what I'm talking about. The devil has no color. The adversary has no color. It is all about your actions. That determines whether you are righteous or unrighteous. Okay? So the first church ever in Brazil was built in the 1500s. And it was built by the Portuguese colonizers. And mind you, these people were not pale people. Pale people were still in Europe as vagabonds and slaves and indentured servants and criminals running all over Europe. And that's facts. That can be proven. Okay, so this has nothing to do with race. This is about the indoctrination of the mind, the enslavement of the people through religion and using religious texts. So that was the first one in Brazil. Let us go on to the next. 1500s. Pay attention to the dates. Okay? The next one we are going to go to is Santo Domingo, Hispaniola, Dominican Republic area. All right, that's where we're going to go. And then once we go through those, like I said, I will ask a few questions. The next one, the first church in Haiti was established in 1511. So Brazil was 1500. Haiti was 1511. When the Spanish, once again, the Spanish founded the bishoprics of Santo Domingo and Conception de la Vega on the island of Hispaniola, which was a combination of Haiti and Dominican Republic. Catholic missionaries traveled to the island to Christianize the inhabitants, but many died from diseases like malaria and yellow fever. But of course, we know that's a fallacy, right? We know that, and I already broke that down in videos. So we're not even going to get into that right now. Okay? But we're going to focus on if before the 1500s, there were no churches here. Okay? Especially Christian churches. How is that all our people are Christians right now? Not all, but the majority of them are Christians right now. And they truly, truly think that that's going to take them to heaven. All right. Just a few questions as we go along. And by no means I'm picking on Christians. No, I'm attacking religion on a whole. Okay. But Christianity seems to be the most popular one. Okay. So that's why I'm, pinpointing that, or I'm pointing it out. Let us go to the next. The next one. We're going to go into Trinidad because it happened all over the Americas. All over the Americas. That's what they came with. All right. They gave us the notion that we were savages. Okay, we were untamed, we were uncivilized, and we needed to be saved. We were that wretch that they were talking about. We were the ones that were born in sin that they were talking about. Okay. Now, the first Catholic church in Trinidad was the Territorial Abbey, established in 1516. So we have Brazil in the 1500, Hispaniola, a culmination, like I said, of Haiti and Dominican Republic in about 1511, around that. And then we have Trinidad in 1516, the first Catholic church. Now, why is it all of them were Catholic churches? Why am I pointing all of that out? Because I am showing you who's responsible for the slavery of indigenous peoples all over the Americas. It was the Catholic Church with all the different denominations eventually. Okay? Because they were one body. But we'll get into that shortly. And it says, in the town of St. Joseph, the first capital of Trinidad, was built in 1592. The current St. Joseph, Roman Catholic Church, etc., etc. Trinidad is the oldest place of the oldest Christian place of worship on the island. Right? Okay. So we see everything is leading back to the Catholic Church. Okay. So because you see, a lot of people don't realize the Catholic Church was literally one of, if not the first, but one of the first Christian churches. All right. And we are talking about going back all the way into 4 BC. You feel me? And it was said that, Jesus was the one who invented the Catholic Church. Now, I'm not making these things up. We are going to go through all of this. The next we're going to look at is in the United States. Let me go ahead and share that bit of information. Now, I'm not sharing that information to you to lose, your sense of awareness that there is a higher power. That's not what this is about. I'm just here to give you the information and let you know that to get to that higher power, you have to let go of religion, because religion is crippling you, okay, from getting where you need to go in terms of your spiritual growth. That's just a fact, okay? In the United States, check this out. The oldest church structure in the United States was built between 1610 and 1626. The chapel was built by the Tlaxcalan Indians from Mexico under the orders of what? The Spaniards. So we are going back to the Spaniards that came from Portugal. Okay? And then it says what? Christianity was introduced to North America by Europeans in the 16th and the 1600s. The first denomination to settle in the United States included the Anglican, the Methodist, the Baptist Church, the congregation, the Presbyterian, the Lutheranism, Quakeism, the Mennonite, and all these different sects. But that didn't happen until the 16th and the 1700s. And it leads me to ask a few questions, but I'm going to put those questions in pause just for now, and we'll get back to those questions. I'm just showing you the dates. So we have Brazil, 1500, Haiti, around 1511, Trinidad, 1516, the United States in the 16th and the 17th century. Let us go to the next one. All right, the next one we're going to look at is in Jamaica. Jamaica. And I'm showing you, once again, I'm giving you that information so that you realize that we did not have religion. We had spirituality. We did not have religion. We had spirituality. And a lot of people get confused, don't know what spirituality means. All right. So when the conclusion of this video, I will give you my rendition of what spirituality means to me. Okay. In so many words, because you cannot bottle spirituality in just a few words, but I'll make an attempt to do so. Okay. Now, the first church in Jamaica was built in 1661 and 1664 in Spanish Town, and it was called the Church of Saint Jago or Jaga de la Vega. What is it again? Spanish Church of the Red Cross. Okay, and it was destroyed by the British troops between 1655 and 1660. You dig? That's in Jamaica. So far, we had no churches in the Americas before the 1500s. At least no concept of that kind of religion before the 1500s. So religion is foreign to us. It should be foreign to us. You feel me? And that's in Jamaica. I'm going to give you a few more because there's no need to go through all the countries. Like, I'm showing you the major ones, all right? So you know exactly what's going on, okay? And then once you go to those dates with the inception of religion, then that planted the seed for slavery, okay? So ultimately, religion enslaved the people, which it is still doing today. Nothing new under the sun. Let us go to the next one. No. Let us share this. We are going to go to the next one. We are going to go to Rosa Dominica, the little island that I was born on, right? Let this populate. Check this out. Now here we go. The first church built in Rosa Dominica, Rosa is the capital, right? Was in Rosa Cathedral, again Catholic, which was constructed what, in the 1730s. In the 1730s. Now my grandmother will be 94. Okay, my grandmother will be 94 in April. And my grandmother told me that her mother was 96 and her grandmother was 106. She took me back all the way into the late 1600s with her people being in Dominica, right? Never heard of slavery. No one ever taught her she was African. And I have a video to prove it in my own oral history with my grandmother, thanks to the ancestors she was around, and I was able to record that from her mouth. Now, she took me way back before even a church was built in Dominica. It begs the question, how is that all my people right now, my family, all of them are Christians? When my grandmother started as a Catholic, because that was what it was. Yep, the missionaries. You feel me? So I'm not here to debate these things with anybody. Okay, I'm showing you facts. Okay, facts. Let us go to the next one. The next one is St. Lucia. St. Lucia. Here we go. It's populating. I think it is. Here we are. The oldest church in St. Lucia is in St. Joseph. It's funny that a lot of the countries in the islands, all right, or no, a lot of the places in the islands, they have a St. Joseph. That's interesting. The Worker Church in Gros Islet, which dates back to the first missionaries, as Terence just pointed out, who arrived in 1749. And it was built around 1771. So before 1749, there was no churches in St. Lucia. So they were one of the few ones, right, that got indoctrinated with religion, late in the 1700s. You feel me? All right. Let us go to the next one. Now, I'm going to show y'all some information where the churches in Europe, they were going through a division. And then that's when you started having the different sects of religion. Because why? The people were getting tired of the Catholic Church enslaving them. All right? They were tired with their doctrines of indoctrination. You feel me? So with that being said, then you started having a divide. The major period when the different Christian denominations, including various Protestant sects, split from the Catholic Church, because the Catholic Church was the mother, it was the harlot of the synagogue of Satan, right? Leading to conflicts and wars was during the Protestant Reformation. It's always a Reformation period in the 16th century, which began around 1517. Because all when the churches were coming into the Americas, all right, they were all Catholic churches. It was just one mother church. And then it was only when they were going through the Reformation period, particularly Martin Luther, all right, was one of the from his 95 Theses, okay, this resulted in the creation of different denominations, as various groups broke away from the mother harlot, the Catholic Church, due to theological disagreements. Okay? Another reason I strongly think it is because of greed. Because of greed. New worlds were being explored, and people wanted their own cut, and they wanted to do their own thing. Because that's what it was all about. You feel me? So this is exactly when we started having all these different sects. Keep that in mind. Let us go here now to see how far back, according to the Roman Catholic Church. And now, if anybody could, refute that, then go ahead and refute it. I'm telling you what the Catholic Church says, or what they said. Here we are. According to the Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church, Jesus Christ founded the Catholic Church around 30 AD. The Catholic Church claims that Jesus established the church through his death, resurrection, and ascension. The Catholic Church history can be traced back to the life and teachings of Jesus Christ in the Roman-occupied Jewish Palestine. After Jesus' death, his followers spread out across the world and formed the universal church. The Catholic Church teaches that Jesus Christ appointed St. Peter as the first pope. And the Catholic Church dates back to 30 AD. The first written account of a form of mass dating was from around 52 to 55 AD. All right. So the Catholic Church is pretty much the mother and the foundation of all of this. Okay. What do we have next? Now, let me explain something to y'all. Let me explain something to y'all. Here we go. Now, the churches were actually a trap house. And let me say allegedly, because I saw what Facebook did to me earlier. Okay. Allegedly. Because vital records and vital statistics, okay, was kept in the Bible. And that practice was not only in the Americas, it started in Europe. All right. Where people were writing down their family tree on Bibles. That was a practice that was brought into the Americas. So the first birth certificate was the Bible, because that's where families were writing the family trees. So therefore, the birth records in the Bibles were used to what? It was provided and it was taken, that information was taken and given to vital statistics to start the whole process of the birth certificate. They were going to the churches because the pastors and the ministers, they were the gatekeepers. They were sort of like, the connection between the so-called powers that be and the people that were being indoctrinated. You see, when we had our children, we didn't have to keep records of our children because we did not. Those things was irrelevant to us. We just lived life. Period. Birthdays is an illusion. And as a matter of fact, you don't have a birthday until you give birth. Mothers have birthdays. People don't have birthdays, they have arrivals. But that's a whole different story. That might go over some heads. I'm going to repeat that. People don't have birthdays, they have arrivals. You were not birthed, you arrived. Your mother gave birth. Okay? So take, for instance, my so-called birth, but my arrival is March 23rd. So therefore, I should be wishing my mother happy birthday and not me, because I did not give birth. I arrived. I should be saying, well, happy arrival, Chief, not happy birthday, Chief, because I did not give birth. But you see, they got us jacked up. And like I said, that might go over some heads. Hence, they took the birth certificate and your arrival, they made an event out of it and created a whole new person and tell you that's you in all capital letters. But that's another video because I've done that before, so I'm not going to go there again. But I'm just trying to show you exactly what it was. It was the church that did all of that. Okay? All right. Stop sharing. Now let us go see when the first birth certificates issued in the US was in the 1860s. In the 1860s. Let me show you that. All right. Why am I showing you all of this? I'm giving you a paper trail of how the enslavement happened. Okay. These colonizers could not beat us physically. They knew our people were a very spiritual, a very loving, a very caring people. And they took those characteristics of God, because that's what the righteous God is. Not the one they taught you in the Bible. No, that's not the righteous God. That's a demon. That's actually Satan. Because if God is good all the time, and all the time God is good, then God cannot do evil. God cannot create evil. Because even the Bible says that a good seed cannot produce bad fruits, and an evil tree cannot produce good fruits. So it's impossible for the God that's good all the time, and all the time God is good, to do evil. Or so hence, I ask the question, who is this God in Isaiah 45:7 that says, I created good and evil? That's not the righteous God, because God cannot create evil. God has no parts. The righteous God has no parts of evil. You feel what I'm saying? So the first birth certificate in the United States were issued in the 1860s. So when the churches were going around, they had ministers, missionaries, taking people's information. Hence you have the Mormon Okay, the Church of Latter-day Saints, they have the biggest database of all our information and could trace our family tree. Why is that? Hmm? Because that was what the church was set up for, a trap house, allegedly, right? I have to say that because I see how Facebook doing me right now. You feel me? Here are a few questions. If the first church of any denomination, regardless of whatever it is, whether it's Judaism, Christianity, or Islam, the first church ever in the Americas was, I think, in Brazil in 1500 by the Portuguese, by the colonizers. Let me ask you a question. If we hold on to our truth, right, that we are the original people here, and indeed we are, then let me ask you a question. Who did we consider to be God before 1500? You trying to tell me we had no concept of who God was, but yet still we were a people living in love? Now, don't mind, don't get me wrong. We had our little, our little rivalries. That's expected. But overall, we were a loving people. We were a kind people. Why do you think we share everything with the world, and everything we have, the world could lay claim to it, and we embrace them because that's our nature. That's our nature. You see, that is the nature of mothers and fathers. We are the first. So that's already, it's already implanted in us. It's already in our DNA. So I'm going to ask the question, if we did not have religion until the 1500s, then who did we consider to be God? How is that we were able to love each other? How is that we were able to be in nature, loving and innocent, connected to nature? Why is that? But you see, we were taken out of our essence and given religion. And I tell people, religion is a compound word. It has a prefix and it has a suffix. Anytime you add the word re in front of a word, it means to do it again. Hey, Chief, I drove my car forward. Do me a favor, can you reverse it? Why not? That means the car was driven forward. Hey, Chief, I wrote a book. Can you rewrite the book? That means the book was already written. So therefore, if it's religion, then what is legion? And I've broken that down in videos before. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to explain what a religion is. Because a legion is an army. Now, some may say, well, Chief, it's spelled differently. No, it has nothing to do with the spelling, because once we get into spelling them, now we are taken to a whole different level, because now we are casting spells. All right? We are casting spells. So with that being said, let us go here, and we are going to look at the etymology of the word legion. And I'll show you exactly what religion really is. Now, once again, some people may say, oh, well, Chief, it's spelled differently. It's not the same. No, it has nothing to do with the spelling. I promise you that. Okay? It has nothing to do with that. So we already know what legion, what re means. Okay? Then we are going to go to a legion. All right? And see exactly what it means, the etymology of the word legion. And I've shared that before, but the purpose of this lesson, we're going to go over it again. Here we are. 12th century. So you see, when our people, they started asking, they were teaching our people, and of course I did the video, I did a video a few days ago, talking about I rather have Jesus, right? Of course, that was, a way of, putting it there so people could really see what is Chief talking about, right? But anyway, our people were taught to sing those type of songs, okay, that you're rich. You would rather have Jesus than silver and gold, than your land and everything. Okay, once you remember, once you start singing those songs over and over again, it becomes your reality. So now it's easy to give up the land. Why? Because Jesus became more important than you, than your birthright, than your identity, your land. You see, it was all strategized. It was all planned. Those songs were specifically written for that purpose. Don't think it's a coincidence. No, those people were hired to write those songs. You feel me? Well, allegedly. I have to say that. Now let us look at legion. A legion is a Roman 12th century, a Roman legion, a squad, a band, a company. Roman legion. Roman legion, a body of soldiers, a levy of troops. Okay? They were soldiers. Roughly 3,000 to 6,000 men. You feel me? It says what? Usually with an attached cavalry. With an attached cavalry. Now, isn't that word cavalry interesting? Because doesn't the cavalry remind you of the Calvary cross? You see, those things are not coincidences. It is not called religion coincidentally. It happened with incident. There's no such thing as a coincidence. Well, there is. Because coincident means to happen with incident. Because co means with. So you know what I'm talking about. When we truly break down the word, it was meant to happen. So when our people started saying, give me that old time religion, what they're asking to be enslaved. Because not realizing that a legion is an army of soldiers, Roman soldiers. Hence, we are still under Roman law. Because people don't comprehend how powerful words are. You ask for your enslavement. You begged for your enslavement. Because you wanted that old time religion, not realizing what those legions did in Europe. But that's what you wanted, the old legion. Now, that word cavalry is very interesting to me. Let us look at the etymology of cavalry. 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 Soldiers who march and find on horsebacks. So you see, it still is coherent to legion. Now, why is all of this important? All of this is important to show you once again what religion has done to our people. And our people cannot see nothing past. And when I say our people, I'm talking about the status quo, the majority of the people. I'm not talking about those of us who get it. All right? And for you to truly find the concept of God, we have to lose religion. All of them. It even got to a point where our ancestors refused to use the word God. So they use Great Spirit instead. They use Great Spirit instead because that word God, once again, when you look at the etymology of the word God, it means to invoke. That's all it means. God is an action word. God is not a person. But, we have gotten so used to using it to identify the Great Spirit as that's what it is. We use the word God. You feel me? So that is the damage and the destruction that religion has caused in our lands. But like I said, we are living in the age of Aquarius, right? We left the age of Pisces, and I'll do a lesson on that because Jesus, the allegorical Jesus is Pisces. He represents by the fish, and Jesus is actually justice. You feel me? Allegorically speaking. So the whole concept of the fish Pisces, that age, which happens, okay, pretty much every 2,160 years, okay, then it's a new age. We have heard of the ages. So I'm not going to get into that too much. But like I said, I'll do a video specifically on the ages and break it down and tell you what happened and what to expect. And that's why these people know exactly what's happening, because our ancestors knew of those things based on the zodiacs. Now, for instance, they say that my sign is Aries. That was just the sign I was born under. However, I am all of those signs because we are those signs. We are the 12. We are the 13. The 12 is the disciples, the 12 faculties. But you make the 13th son. You feel me? Hence, the allegorical Jesus had 12 disciples and he was the 13th son. That's the completion of the Godhead. That's when you have mastered and ascend into the Christ consciousness. But like I said, that's a whole different video. The point I'm making is to truly find what we call God or what we call the Great Spirit. You have to let go of all religions. Okay? So because we are in the age of Aquarius, all right, all those things are being exposed. And I tell people, no matter what you did, it's going to be exposed. That's why I always stay righteous, because I know that no matter what it is, some way or the other, it's going to come out. You feel me? And you are your only judge. Nobody's waiting to judge you. You are. Your own actions are waiting to judge you. You know why? Because when it's all said and done, you are the one that's going to be looking at your face, asking yourself directly in your face, in your other version, okay, about the things that you have done. And guess what? It's impossible to lie to yourself. So what does that mean? You are God. Only God could judge you, yourself. And I'm talking about the real self, not the egotistical, not the lower egotistical self. Most people, when they speak of the ego, they only speak of the ego as a bad thing. No, the higher self has an ego. And the lower self has an ego. And our goal is to raise up the lower ego to be equally yoked with the higher ego. It's called the perfect marriage. You see what I'm saying? So when you truly know, you speak as if you know. You don't deal with belief systems. It is really that simple. So to truly find you, you have to let go of the concept of all these ideologies that we were taught, because it was literally brainwashed into our people. Put them in a little box, okay, and say, hey, listen, this is what you're going to learn from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, from as a matter of fact, from Thursday to Sunday. That's what we're going to teach you over and over. And the information was repetitive over and over and over again until it becomes your reality. Let me tell you something about perception. If you teach somebody or people something for so long, it becomes their reality. I guarantee you, if we see a purple box, right? And all of a sudden, within the next 50 years, we start telling people it's not purple, it's green. Guess what? Within 60 years, that box is going to be called a green box, because it is constantly bombarded as being a green box, opposed to what we were taught, it's purple. Everything that we know was taught to us. So the question is, what's truly real? What's truly true? And the only time to know truth is when you close your eyes and you are by yourself, within yourself. That's the truest experience ever, when you close your eyes and you either deal with the demons or you deal with the gods. That is your realest moment, when that subconscious is awake. Okay? Because now you have to face all those questions you are asking yourself. Man, I did that to that person. I did this, I did that. And that's why you have to learn to forgive yourself. You could never become righteous unless you forgive yourself. It's okay to forgive others. But the first thing you have to do is forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for being for doing the things that you did to yourself that allow you to do it to others. That's deep. And that's why everything is coming to light. I don't feel sorry for all these people. No. The Jay-Z's and no, they paid. That was the price that they decided to pay to sacrifice their soul. And I'm not talking about the conspiracy theories. I'm talking about the whole idea of living a certain lifestyle, okay, where you were literally promoting self-destruction of your people. There's nothing wrong in being rich. There's nothing wrong in being wealthy. After all, we have dominion over everything. So therefore, it's ours. We are supposed to enjoy the bountifulness of this lands, of the earth. So there's nothing wrong in being rich. It's always what you do with what you have. That is the key. So now they are paying their retribution for the things that they did with the music. Whether it was true with the allegations or not, that's irrelevant. The bottom line is, when I listen to the words that's coming out of your mouth, I'm listening to your actions, the things that you did. There's something called karma. And a lot of people think they're going to escape that with money, with riches. No, no. And that's what it's truly meant by what profiteth a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul. The book wasn't telling you to be poor. No, that's not what the book is saying. The book is saying, why get all these riches, but your soul is poison? Why get all these riches, but you are unrighteous? That's what the book is saying. You see, the truth is in the book. It is the interpretation of the message that's literally polluted. You feel me? And that's why I'll continue to tell people, I don't care what anybody say about me. I could go anywhere and walk with my head high because I'm a righteous man. You see, righteousness is within the core of our soul. We were taught to be unrighteous. You see, being unrighteous is a learned behavior. It exists now, but it's a learned behavior. It is not part of our core. You feel me? So we have learned to be unrighteous, chasing the illusions of the world. Nobody's stopping you from being righteous but you. Nobody but you. It's not the devil. It's not Satan. In the context of what we think the devil or Satan is. However, yes, it's the devil or Satan, but it's the one that you created. It's the one that you manifested. Who created the devil? God did. Who's God? You. So who created the devil? You did. I'm not sure you. A lot of you may not ready for this. You may not be ready for this. You see, that is spirituality. My concept of spirituality is to know thyself. That is the greatest concept of spirituality. To know thyself. And once you truly know thyself, then you'll know exactly who God or Satan is. Because you have the power to will either or. How do you do that? Your thoughts, your words, your actions, the Trinity. I'm going to repeat that. Your thoughts, your words, your action, the Trinity. The thought is God. Your words is the Son. And the action is the manifestation of the word in action, which is the Son. What it is, Lord. So my brothers and sisters, we have to learn first to forgive ourselves. Forgive yourself for the things that you have done to yourself. The mental abuse. Some of it may not be your fault, but you have to find some way to forgive yourself for that. The physical abuse. All right? Whether you allow people to abuse you or not, the foods that you eat, the smoking, the drinking, All this weed smoking, that's abuse to yourself. Okay? Making you think that's cool. No, it's not. All this weed smoking is not spirituality, man. No, no, it's a vice. If the kingdom of heaven is within you, and therefore God is in heaven, therefore God is in you. So why are you smoking God out of your body? And smoke is a ghost. Interesting. The truth is all around us. The truth is within us. And that's why you're going to see all these religions exposed. Not just religion, but people in the higher echelons of society that was not living righteous. They're going to fall. I don't feel sorry for any of them. Because even me, if I've done things in the past, okay, that deserve some type of retribution and, some type of karma, then I accept it. Whether it was done intentionally or it was done unintentionally, it doesn't make a difference. The bottom line is we all have to deal with that karma. And based on my experience within this realm, within this arrival on March 23rd, all right, I know that I've walked as a righteous man. You feel me? So that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. So for all the things that I was not aware of, I have forgiven myself for that because I didn't know. I'm not aware of them. So even for the things that you can't remember, forgive yourself for them. Ask the universe for forgiveness. Put the forgiveness out there to the things that you did to people knowingly or unknowingly, to start dealing with the karma. And the truth is, we have to lose everything. When you see you are stepping into a realm of a whole new level of consciousness, especially when you're stepping into your Christ consciousness, you have to deny your physical self. And that's why I tell people the Bible is not literal, because when the allegorical Jesus asked Peter, or not ask Peter, but in a sense ask, but at the same time commanded of Peter to deny him 3 times, that's a lie. So Jesus asked, or Yeshua, whatever name, the name is irrelevant, right? But the point is, when the allegorical Jesus or Yeshua asked or commanded or demanded of Peter to deny him 3 times, that's asking Peter to lie. But yet still the Bible said, thou shalt not lie. So is Jesus a liar? You feel me? But you see, when people take these things literally and you ask them those questions, they cannot deal with the reality of that question because it's right in the book. But let me explain it to you. Okay? When the allegorical Jesus asked Peter to deny him 3 times, 3 is confirmation. And he had to deny the flesh man, Jesus, the flesh man, in order to transcend into the Christ man. So therefore, the flesh man had to be denied and crucified, lose everything. That's why when you're on your journey and you're about to step into another level of consciousness, you start losing things. You lose your children, you lose your house, you lose your loved ones, you lose your job. All of a sudden, everything was good. And then you start changing the way you think, the things you eat, the people you hang around. Guess what? Immediately, it seems like it's chaos. Not realizing that's the transformation of going from a caterpillar into a butterfly, from going into Jesus, from going from Jesus, the physical man, into the Christ consciousness, the king, the queen, the anointed one. You see, religion is not teaching you those things. Religion will teach you to be subservient to a dead flesh, when the dead flesh didn't even want to be the dead flesh. The dead flesh said, no, deny me, because that's not who I am. That's why when the dead flesh died and resurrected and came into a new avatar, the disciples could not recognize him. Why is that? Because he ascended into a whole new avatar. And that's what has to happen to us. Because the dead flesh, Jesus the flesh man, the allegorical Jesus the flesh man, was the caterpillar. All right? And he transformed into a butterfly. That's why they couldn't recognize the butterfly, because they were used to seeing the caterpillar. And it's the same thing has to happen to us. When you start ascending and transcending into your Christ consciousness, your people will not recognize you, because they know the old you. They know the caterpillar you, not the butterfly, not the Christ you. But you cannot ascend into the Christ consciousness without being crucified. Everyone has to be crucified. What does that mean? You have to let everything go, to the point where when they take that spear and pierce it to your sides and put vinegar in there, take that last breath, the last breath of the physical man or physical woman, not literally. It's internal. And become the Christ. And they will not recognize you, because you have transformed. You feel me? That's what it's all about, my brothers and sisters. And religion is not going to give it to you. We have to let go of these religions. And all of them are going to be exposed for deceiving people, lying to people, giving people false information, and giving people a false identity of what the true righteous God is. They're all going to fall. Mark my words. That's just what it is. No one could escape that judgment. No one. So I'm about to conclude and let you know, in closing, only you can save yourself. Nobody else. Be mindful of the things that you think of, your thoughts. Be mindful of the words. Be mindful of the things that you speak. Be mindful of the things that you do. I'm not here telling you be a punk. I'm not saying none of that. Have compassion. Have love. It doesn't make you weak. Love makes you strong. You see, hate makes you weak. Envy makes you weak. Jealousy makes you weak. Animosity makes you weak. Love makes you strong. That's why the hardest thing to do is to love somebody. Trust me, truly love somebody is the hardest thing. It's easy to hate. It's harder to love. That's why when people love, when they fall hard, because it's hard to love. But I guarantee you, when they fall out of love, they could hate you in a second, because it's easy to hate. All right? So take some time. It's okay to turn off the distractions. Forgive yourself. Cry it out. Many nights I've cried it out. You know what I'm saying? Stepping into me, stepping into the I am. Letting go of the physical. Yes, I'm still here in the flesh, but I'm not the flesh. I know this. And you have to lose everything. If you haven't lost everything, then you're still on that journey. And that's facts. All right? And that's why a lot of our people are transforming, because we have lost everything. Some of us are still losing things. Okay? Because why? We're going through the process of the caterpillar into the butterfly. Okay? So be good to each other, man. I know it could be hard sometimes, because that little devil is on your shoulder. The one that you created is on your shoulder telling you to do otherwise. Hate that brother, hate that sister. Say something bad about them. Call them names. Post something negative. Post something evil. Post something that's low vibrational. You see what I'm saying? You know the actions of people that are in their Christ consciousness. Don't matter what they say. Look at what they do. Look at the fruit that they produce. And they all over Facebook claiming to be righteous, but they're always posting unrighteous things. You can't fool me. Go look at my track record. I tell people, if I've been faking this, but I gotta be the best actor. Denzel ain't got nothing on me because I've been consistent for over 12 years. Consistent. You feel me? And I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm asking you to judge yourself because I have to judge myself. Thankfully, I grew up in a home where I grew up with both parents, never been to prison, never sold drugs, never gangbang. I was one of the fortunate ones. I was not a victim of society. And I've been on my own since I was a teenager, but I always had a strong mind. Always had a strong mind. You feel me? So take care of yourselves, do some self-reflecting, learn to forgive yourself. And then once you have done that, you will truly know what it means to forgive others. And because you love people, it doesn't mean they have to love you back. That's not what it means. Because you forgive people, it doesn't mean they have to forgive you back. Do it for you and not for them. And because I ask you to be good to people, it doesn't mean you have to allow people to take advantage of you. No. So you have to know the boundaries. Even God say no sometimes. In fact, a lot of times. Right? Go ask all these people always praying for things, but they never get it. That's God saying no. So it's okay to say no. All right? So y'all enjoy the rest of your continuation, man. I'm going to go play some cards with my mom. I love y'all for real. And when I tell you I love you, like I truly do, I know what love is. I love my people. I love people. I have love for people, but I love my people. And my people are always going to come first. That's self-preservation. I'm gonna embrace other people. And when I say my people, I'm talking about my righteous lineage. That is my true family, my righteous lineage. The flesh family is cool. Blood family is cool. But my righteous lineage is my true lineage. Because that's what came first. You did. All right. So enjoy the rest of your continuation. Let me see who I could give a little shout out. On here, we got Ebony on Facebook. We got Lisa. We got Terrence. We got who else we got? We got my sister Valerie. And on YouTube, let me see who we got here. We got Empress, Everlasting Water. We got Chief Blackbird White Tip, and we got Kick Rocks. For those of you I can't see you on here. I'm sending much love and positive energy as well to you. You feel me? So continue to be good, man. Continue to love, continue to grow. That's what's going to transform and transcend, and change our situation. And let's stand up against evil. Let's stand up against unrighteousness. You dig? And don't get caught up with people that have to pay the price, their karma for the things that they did. Okay, it's not your job. That is their responsibility. It doesn't mean we cannot be compassionate, but don't spend too much time worrying about that. They going through those things because of something that they did. It may not have been something in this lifetime. It could have been another lifetime. Things that I've gone through, I ask myself, well, why? Why am I going through this? And I know I'm a righteous man within this incarnation, within this realm of consciousness. I know that I'm a righteous man, but certain things happen. And then I always have to remember, well, Chief, maybe in the last incarnation or the past few times you had some karma that you had to deal with. So that's what you're dealing. That's why you're going through those things that you're going through right now. And I just have to say, you got it. You got it, self. And just go through the experience and just deal with it. Because I don't know what I did to deserve those things at this present time. So all I could continue to do is ask for forgiveness and ask that price that I had to pay for those things be paid off. It's cleared. That debt is wiped off with a clean slate. And forgive myself. And until we do those things, we have a long way to go. All right? So we'll talk soon. Stand up, stay up, rise up. Love, regardless of what, love. You could still defend yourself with love and in love. There's nothing wrong in defending yourself. Because you're a lovable person, it don't mean you should allow people to take advantage of you or attack you. No. In as much as I love people, you mess with me and you do the wrong thing, then you're going to see Satan come out. Because I know how to manifest Satan. I created that bastard. All right? So I'm just saying, you cannot claim God and don't claim the devil. That's hypocrisy, because the God created the devil. That's facts. All right? But I choose to be godly. I choose to be righteous. It's a conscious decision that I made, and do the right thing. One love.